Now then, let's talk about, where is it? Let's talk about Age UK. Every day for the next week or so here on BBC WM, we are going to talk about Age UK. We should have done this, actually. We tried to do it at 11:15, and I think the radio station throughout the week has been doing it at 11:15, but you'll understand why things have got slightly out of kilter, particularly with Zion's tragic news. So we're going to do it slightly later. Tomorrow will be, fingers crossed, 11:15. Chief Executive of Age UK in Birmingham is Sandwell. Alison Beecham is on the line. Alison, very good morning to you. How are you coping down at Age UK? Welcome.
Welcome. Morning, Danny.
Morning.
We're coping very well, actually. I think what we're seeing, there's no question that this is the most challenging situation in our history. And what we've got to deal with is just, something we've never had to deal with before. But what I'm seeing is some fantastic work. It's good that you've had me on, Danny, because I really want to take this opportunity to thank so many people that have stepped up in our region to help. We've been inundated with volunteer requests, and people are offering friendship and support off their own back to a lot of older people in the area.
Good stuff, yeah, community spirit. I guess food supplies is still something that's a concern, Alison?
It really is. It really is. We're taking hundreds of calls every day. There are older people who are isolated. I think we estimated around 200,000 across Birmingham and Sandwell who fit the over 70s criteria for self-isolation. And some, have families and people supporting them, but there are people that have nobody around, or families live quite far away and can't get shopping slots. And on top of being isolated and alone, we've had some calls, some really sad calls from people who've had absolutely no food in the house at all and face going to bed having had nothing to eat.
What typically, Alison, I know we can't generalise negatively, but typically why are older people, do you think, less confident of the hustle and bustle of queues, of panic buying situations?
Well, they're in the category over 70 and being the most vulnerable, and they often have other health conditions as well, so mobility issues or problems accessing personal transport or public transport. They often struggle to get out anyway, never mind in a situation such as this. Yeah. And they are genuinely really frightened. They're frightened about this situation. For you and I, we might make ourselves quite busy at home. We might do a bit of DIY, catch up on some jobs. But these people often aren't physically able to do any more than watch TV and the awful stories that are coming out.
And also, Alison, depending on your actual domestic surroundings, you could be on the 18th story of a high-rise with a window for fresh air. There'll be older people who have the luxury of a lovely garden, sun-drenched, south-facing and all of that, and a little pond with the koi carp to keep them, and all of that. I get that. But there'll also be, typically speaking, I would have thought, people living in small dwellings really miserably.
Yeah, absolutely. We are having some, really desperate calls coming in, people who are disabled and people who are looking after others. So a lot of our carers are over 70, support people living with dementia, and families are also in isolation and they are alone with very limited help and support. So our call lines are ringing constantly, 7 days a week. We are really busy with the amount of calls.
And Alison, just again, an example. When someone calls your helpline, what are they calling for and how do you help them?
The majority of the calls that we're having at the moment are around food, so concerns about limited shopping supplies, lasting limited food, and families. We're getting a lot of calls from families who might be outside the Birmingham area who are worried about mum and can't get there or can't get food to them. We had one really awful call that they're in tears and wasn't going to have any food or anything to eat that night, and we can't let that happen. We're not letting that happen. We're getting emergency food parcels delivered out, and it's overwhelming, the response that we're getting, overwhelming from volunteers who are helping and older people who are just so grateful.
Alison, keep up the good work. Thank you very much indeed. Is there a phone number we can ask
Yes,
our audience to
please
jot down?
Danny, please. Our telephone number is 0121 437 0033.
0121 437.
437 0033.
You know what, everybody, just forgive the interjection. Now then, if you haven't got a piece of paper and a pen, I will read this number out after the record taking us up to the news. So don't worry. Sorry, Alison, you were saying.
Danny, if I could say to people out there in the community, if they know somebody who's living alone and that older person knows them, I would encourage them to knock the door to see if they need any help. And, perhaps say they know they wave to them in the morning on the way to work. What we are saying is don't knock the door of people, older people you don't know, because they really are quite frightened. But if you get in touch with us, we can put you in touch with somebody who needs some help or support.
Good advice, Alison. Thank you. Don't panic. I'm going to play a little bit of a fabulous song, by the way.
This is a message from the government. Coronavirus is a national emergency, life-threatening for people of all ages everywhere in the UK. To help save lives, stay home. Only go outside for food, health reasons, daily exercise or to work, but only if you cannot work from home. Stay home. Anyone can get it and anyone can spread it. Coronavirus. Stay home, protect the NHS, save lives.